the tea, yeah. Story time. Who got the tea? She got the tea, yeah. Anything you need to know. Story time. Just tune into the show. Story time. Story time.
Hello everyone, thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Tori Talk. As you can see, we're doing things a little differently today. Jeffrey and I are outside in a park having a picnic lunch. He made me a picnic, guys, so it was a nice day. To give you kind of some background, we are in quarantine right now. The last time you saw Jeffrey on here would have been we were in Milan, and we are now since back from Milan and back from New Orleans. And right after we got back to New Orleans, the week of my birthday, I was supposed to go to Vegas, and unfortunately, that is the week the shutdown happened. So today's episode will be just kind of like how we're faring and everything that's going on while we're quarantined. So Jeffrey, please let everyone know kind of like who you are if they didn't catch the Milan video.
Yeah, so I'm Jeffrey Perkins. I'm here. Make videos and photos and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's been a little bit different. Of course, I do a lot of weddings and events, so that whole thing has been shut down. I don't really think for the rest of the year. Maybe the end of the year we might get back on with the wedding. So it's a thing of diversification, doing editing only. I'm masked up, going out here and there, doing strategic photos and video shoots, but not only do I do events and the big ticket items like weddings, I do smaller stuff, commercials, promo videos for clients ranging in budget. So in a time like this, if you do anything freelance or any businesses like that, diversify and save. It's always a good thing, a preventative measure just to save your money. Like, that works with anybody on any level. Whether you Dr. Strange and how he was living.
Oh God, you are obsessed with this movie. Okay, guys, so if you've seen Dr. Strange, you know how like Dr. Strange was like super like rich and drove all these cars. This man literally talks about Dr. Strange as like a cautionary tale. Dr. Strange is not real. It was a movie.
My man was living in a nice crib. He had the lamb whipping that joint. He hurt his little hands. Homeboy was homeless. Like what, 4 or 5 months? The boy was homeless, wandering through the streets.
Again, I say this is a movie, so you really can't gauge this on real life, but again, yes.
People are over leveraged. Save your money, diversify what you do. I've been doing cool. I've been enjoying this time off, weeks off at a time, editing here and there. Because usually your schedule will be so busy and like this and that. So it gives a little bit of time to slow down, appreciate your health and wealth. And I'm just chilling.
Together. So we kind of wanted to let you guys know how it's been for us. So Jeffrey, you tell me how it's been. So okay, so give you a background. Like the thing that me and Jeffrey did, we don't live together. Jeffrey lives in Baltimore. I live in PG County.
Go ahead. Say it.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Anyway, so.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Go ahead, continue.
So what we did to kind of like make a compromise, like we do a week at my house and then we do a week at his house. So we've kind of been doing that pretty much ever since quarantine started, right? We've been doing that week on, week off. So that was the first thing we did. But now you can let them know like how the experience has been. It's been what, like 2 months now, I guess, full quarantine?
Yeah, because what, like middle of March, like everything was sweet in the beginning of March. Like we were living our regular lives, doing a thing. And then the hammer came down, boom.
Right on my birthday week too.
Yeah, like right there, because we was in the crib for your birthday. So the hammer went down. And we kind of knew the hammer's eventually going to come down, but like we never experienced it, so it was all foreign. But all that to say, chilling with her for like a couple months straight, like literally like every day, night, day, sleeping, waking up. And I even did some work, like I do my work sometimes at her crib. She ain't that bad. I've been having a good time though. Like the compatibility is cool. Like she don't bother me. She don't get on my nerves. I might get on her nerves a little bit, but I do it on purpose. But like I say little sayings, a little funny stuff, but
it's not funny.
All together, like it's been an enjoyable experience, and that goes back to like me chilling in the crib and relaxing and time to slow down. You get to spend time with your people, your family, your loved ones, just significant other. It's cool, man. I'm really enjoying this. Yeah, it's been a great experience. Like, I enjoy you. Cool. It's like, I don't know if y'all like ever like vibe with somebody or like, but sometimes it take energy to be in a presence and you need that time to recover, or it's like, yo, I can only do this for X amount of hours per week or per month. But with her, I don't have to exert any energy. She just chill. Like, she cool. Like,
Oh, thank you, Jeffrey. Like, what has your reaction been when you've heard about all of these couples breaking up or like calling the divorce lawyers? Like, what do you think their relationship must be like in the house, and kind of what would have made like us break up in your opinion? Like, if I was doing X, Y, and Z, you'd be like, we are done, quarantine over, go back to my house, I don't want to talk to her no more.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess just being like super annoying where like, I wouldn't want you in my presence, but like, it's not over like that I can think of on top of my head. It's like, yo, you gotta go. But if you tell me yours, I could probably think about it. But go ahead, tell me yours real quick.
Okay, so I am not like a crazy particular person, but like, and like me and Jeffrey had these conversations, like I feel like I've had such like bad relationships in the past that when somebody does something that like we've already discussed that like I just don't like, and they just continue to do it over and over and over again, instead of just thinking that like they're not thinking about it, I kind of look at it more so like they're kind of doing this to be disrespectful. So like that would bother me. Like leaving shit all over the house, or like just starting arguments about nothing. Like, those are the type of things that I feel like, I think when you have this idle time, I think a lot of people who are probably in those not so great relationships are now like, oh, well, let me see your phone, or going through his phone, or, just being extra annoying. Like, yeah, he's playing 2K, but let me sit here and like start something with him about it. Cause I kind of feel like, I think this is really showing you kind of the negative things about yourself and your partner.
I feel like we got a great understanding. And I'm going to tell you this, like, sometimes you be talking to chicks, yo, and I don't know if they understand you or they just don't want to understand you, but it's just like you talking to a brick wall. And I feel like at least for a little bit, this brick wall got a hole in it. She kind of understand it and feel my perspective. She might not agree with it. She feels my perspective, and that helps me out. Like, cause like you can have, you feel one way, she feel another way, and you want to communicate those different sides, and like, oh, I feel like this, and I feel like that, and she feel like this. If we can't understand each other, then we can't come to a conclusion. You feel me? So,
I think right now, like very small things that probably would have been looked over or maybe kind of ignored. Mm-hmm. If you still had your outlet of like going out with your friends or going to a bar or whatever. Now it's like, I hate the way this motherfucker breathes. Your breathing annoys me. And I think it's like,
presence like all the time.
It's just escalating, and it's just so crazy. I think that's like, relationship wise, I'm so glad that we haven't done that, but that would probably be, them type of characters would be what would make us break up during this quarantine.
Yeah, I think it's just a compatibility. I think that's a big thing. Compatibility and understanding. Like, I don't even know how it happened, but it happened, right? And like it goes back to that understanding and be able to relate to one another. You understand what I'm saying? If you can relate to somebody, you can see where they're coming from at a particular time. You can say, okay, I get that. You may not be like, that might not be your feeling, or you may not wholeheartedly agree with that position. You can understand that area that they're coming from, and y'all have that common ground to make, a new middle ground or some shit like that. So I think it's a big understanding of each other. You don't bother me. I don't I bother her. I be
it doesn't bother me. I would ignore him. I could fall asleep with him tapping me. I used to do it to my little cousin. Like, my annoyance, like, is very high. So that's why it's like, if I'm ever really angry or really upset about something, you have actually violated, because I can ignore a significant amount of things before I actually get mad. Would you say that you learned anything new about me during this quarantine?
So I gotta really think. Like, them questions on and off for like catch me off guard. Let me think. And I'm sure I learned plenty of things. Just like the day-to-day things. And I think for this, like, yeah. So prior to going on like a trip, what was our first trip? Italy?
No, our first trip was
The cabin.
getaway.
Yeah. So that was a few days. So like, okay, yeah. So going back to that, like when you spend multiple days with somebody, especially the first time, you see qualities of how they, really act, and we can only put up our facade for so long, right? So you see how people really act in those particular situations. So it was nothing but love. Like, it was fun in the cabin. We had the best sandwiches ever. We had some great food. We went on a little adventure, even though she like really scared of outside because the outside don't like her. But like,
Thank you.
But we had some great adventures, like, and I'm just like, nah, this is cool as shit. Like, I'm not even really like exerting any energy. Like, I'm just being me, just regular. Like, you feel me? I'm sure she being herself too. So it's just really natural. A lot of fun energy. We went out to Italy. It was straight too. Like, it was our first time. That's a little far. You feel me? So
a little far. After we got to Jersey, our flight was like, but it was like 10 hours or something like that, right? Something like that.
Yeah,
something like that.
It wasn't that long. It was young, but it's probably like 13 total.
I think it was 13 hours long.
It was young, but look.
He a world traveler, y'all, so he be traveling all the time. I'm like, let me tell you something. That is a long ass flight.
World travel and economy be posted. Look, the same way I'm sitting like this.
Crunched that legs be hurting.
Hey,
you love
I be
it.
saving that money, man. Listen. But like, it was cool. Like, even being like 4 or 5 days, 6 days, however many days we went. Like, just being in our presence. We took going like from the airport. That was like the craziest thing. We took the choo-choo train down.
No. Whose idea was it to take the choo-choo train? As in we took like pretty much essentially like our MARC train, then the metro.
Let me tell you what happened.
To the hotel.
So
by the way,
I just came from London. I'm like, all right, man, because the London train was straight shot. I got out the train, walked to my hotel, and I was there. I'm like, are we gonna try the choo-choo train? It is. Man, we was carrying suitcases up and around steps. I had to use the bathroom. Then you had to pay to use the bathroom. I'm like, man, this shit dumb. When we got to the hotel, I was like, never again. So we just paid for the taxi to go back to the airport. That shit was terrible.
And ladies, even if it's a bad idea,
man,
I think the best lesson is to let them learn.
Nah.
The moment that you told me we were not going to take a taxi, hell, when I go to New York, I take taxis. So when he was talking about getting on the metro and we don't, what's crazy is he speaks no Italian. I speak very little Italian because I used to take Italian when I was in elementary school. So I'm Italian where I understand what they're saying for the most part. I just, I'm not fluent in speaking it back. He speaks no Italian. And I'm just like, you want us to get on the train and the signs in Italian.
That is true, though.
I just say, I think we never have to experience that again because he learned.
We did it. Successful. We made it there.
We managed to make it there. I feel like if you're from a city or you just have a little bit of common sense of how to get around, it wasn't that bad, but it was not
suitcases. I think the
easy.
suitcases.
The suitcases was the problem.
Yeah, I mean, doing it was fine, but them suitcases and then
because remember we had to go for the regular for the regular train, it was fine. But then we had to get on the metro. We had to keep going down all these levels.
Yeah, I think just the walk into
and
the
they
thing.
had no escalator, so we had to carry these big, giant suitcases up the steps.
Oh yeah, when we got off that last, I put a picture on IG, like that little spot, but like.
He should have not did it. But again, we would never have to go through that again. So I love that we did that because now
it was fun. It was
if
an
you
experience.
ever say that again, I'll be like, remember Milan? And that's all you're going to think about. You'll be like, oh, nah, we're going to go ahead and get a taxi, which is what I love to hear.
Nah, that was definitely an experience. And I like stuff like that. It was annoying, but at the same time, those type of memories in that bonding moment,
He was mad at me, y'all. He was.
What, during the time?
Yes, you was mad.
Man, I was sick.
You was mad.
I was ready to get in that hotel. I was sick, but looking back, without all the negative, when you look at the nostalgic vibe to it, it was cool. But I wouldn't do it again. But
No.
I appreciate the experience. You know what I mean? But
I mean, I think for me throughout this whole process from being in quarantine, because at this point, my birthday was March 21st. We went to the restaurant maybe the 17th or something.
Yeah,
I think it was a reservation.
Like Tuesday or something
It was the Tuesday before, so
we went to
I'm gonna
VA.
assume that was the 17th roughly. So we've been pretty much day in, day out ever since March 17th. We've been together.
It's May. Yeah, about to be 2
Yeah, it's
months.
May now.
May that we're recording.
Yeah, it's
13th.
May.
Yep.
So it's kind of for me, I kind of feel like I've just realized, just like even more so than before, just like how compassionate and considerate and just like such a sweet person that he really is.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'll always say to anybody who knows me, like I have had like my share of problems, and I just kind of feel like I tell anybody who asks, like Jeffrey pretty much is like what I prayed for and then stuff I didn't consider, if that makes sense. Like it completely, like all the expectations and then some. So it's kind of like it was very nice because I felt like without this quarantine, like I said, we spend time together, but we're both so busy that it's not every day, day in and day out. And people who are like already living together, they experience that. We haven't. So we kind of made it where it's like I said, we do that week here, week there, so that we can feel like we're in each other's space and we're not favoring one home to another. And I have certain rules and things that I like at my house, and Jeffrey has certain rules and things that he likes at his house that he didn't want to admit until I told him, because he wanted to make it about me, but he has very particular things at his house too.
Name me one rule that I got.
I've already named them. Don't make us do this. No,
just one.
I'm trying to be nice and tell you how sweet you are.
No, they know I'm sweet, but just tell me one rule I got.
So, I feel like that was like the biggest thing. I think it really kind of made me realize, like, if we were ever to kind of cohabitate, just give me an idea of what it would be. And I think I've just learned, like the responsibility. And I think he has what we would probably call a fun job. I mean, Jeffrey, if you don't know, he is his own boss. So he kind of contracts people out to work with him. And, people do the same thing with you. So when you have weddings or whatever, you kind of contract those shooters out to come work with your company. It seems like such a fun job and easygoing, and he does love it, but it's really not, I think, as easy as you would assume being a photographer and videographer would be. It's not easy. And when you're in a situation right now where your money comes from booking shoots and your bread and butter is weddings, and all of these weddings are constantly getting pushed back on you day in, day in, day out. I think other photographers, that's probably like kind of crippled their business significantly. And I think right now it just kind of shows me how prepared and forward thinking that he was, so that right now this feels like a vacation for you. Other people are like suffering right now, and you're fine. So I think that kind of lets me know, like, if we were ever to have something going on, like, you're constantly kind of mitigating risk at every turn and kind of being, I'm gonna do this today, or I'm not gonna go here today so that I'll have this money in the bank later. So if something were to happen, I'm still gonna be able to eat. So I think that I've learned, and that I appreciate.
Yeah, it's taking care of yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I always had a desire to take care of myself, do for myself. And, at the end of the day, as an individual, you're, in your own best interest. So, just shit I like doing. Like, I like business, I like saving, I like budgeting, I like, marketing, branding, I like reaching out to people, I like people reach out to me, I like great customer service. I like the ins and outs of shooting videos, taking photos, the lighting, all the intricate details. I'm into all that, from start to finish, business to photography to the art. It's my thing. So, like, it's fun. Like, even doing this, like, it's fun to quarantine. Like, I'm sad people, like, really dying and shit, but, like...
Oh, very much so. I've already had,
Yeah. But beyond, like, all the sickness, like the trials and tribulations through the economy and how business will flourish or fall, I find it so fun. Like, it's just fun. Like, you know what I mean? I just get so much joy out of being able to live through this, to take the things that I do day in and day out and know that I made a great decision. It just solidifies what I'm doing, and I'm just going, keep going. And when the next thing comes, just, head down, forward thinking, conservative at some points, ambitious at some, but never over leveraged, you know what I mean? So I'm just excited, you feel me?
What kind of advice would you give to people who feel like either they're trying to start a relationship in a quarantine, or they're in a relationship right now in quarantine and it's kind of, they're going through some trials? Like, what type of advice would you give them?
I mean, I ain't a relationship expert, and like trials and tribulations can happen. Like,
still, what do you think?
Yeah, I got you. I'm bringing it around for them. Trials and tribulations, you feel me, will happen. I think for me, what I saw initially, like what we going through right now, as a successful relationship and a happy relationship for me, and hopefully the same for you, is like,
Oh, very much so.
yeah, it's like an understanding, like, and communication. If you can communicate and understand that person and are willing to listen to their perspective and their ideas and their philosophies and vice versa, and those things actually align. Like, it might be somebody that you don't really vibe with, like, on that level, and it just sometimes it's a compatibility thing. But if you find somebody that you feel like is a great compatibility, y'all can communicate things and have an open understanding, I think that will be beneficial to the relationship, of anything. It's no trickery, it's no stuff like that. It's just straight to the point, and I like that. And I think that's what's, like, so far what's been great for us. Just like just being cool with each other. How about you?
I think the only advice really, I mean, I have a bunch I could say, but I think you're really starting to see now, I think, who's really for you and who isn't. I think being in the house and kind of not being able to go out and kind of mask a lot of your relationships with, oh, he takes me here, oh, he buys me this, oh, we do this. I think right now you're really understanding kind of the person that you're with or person you would possibly want to be with. And I look at it like, I told Jeffrey, so we had a date. So it was my remnants to Italy. So we did a kind of a charcuterie board, and we did it in my room, and in my living room, and we watched movies, right? That was my date night. I told Jeffrey, today is what's today, Thursday?
No,
Wednesday? Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Today's Wednesday. And I think I told him probably last week, Tuesday or Wednesday, I was like, hey, we haven't gone on a date since I planned a date. You need to plan a date. And like, as you see, we're on our date, and he planned a picnic for us. Something that like we've always discussed. It's not funny.
No, it's true though. I want it. We'll continue.
Yeah, but it's like something that we've already, like something that we discussed, and he just went ahead and planned it. And I think, though, even if you can't physically, like, we're together anyway, so we're a little different, whereas we're already spending time together so we can do these things. But I look at it like, sis or sir, if he or she really wants to be with you, they're gonna find these kind of creative ways to really kind of still make a date out of nothing. If it's a Zoom call and y'all do like some sort of like questions, or it was me and Jeffrey did this, and it's funny because I used to try to get people to do this once I learned about it, and everybody told me no and made fun of me. And Jeffrey did it when we were in the cabin, but it was like 25 questions, and it was pretty much those questions are kind of like to see whether you're compatible with a person. You do them on a first date, and there are some that are very surface level, then some that are very deep, and you kind of discuss those with a person, and they kind of make you more, like close with the person. We did those a long time ago. Not when we first on our first date, but of course we still did them. Like, even if it's no more than that, like if he's like, hey, like you go ahead, get your wine together, you get dressed up, I'll get dressed up, and we'll go and we'll have questions, or we'll play a game, or we'll do something, to kind of show you that he's really about you. I think that's what you should be looking for right now, because it's very easy to take somebody out to get something to eat, or take somebody out to a drink, and you don't really know what's going on. But I think if you're really able to have like these deep conversations right now, I think that kind of shows who cares. And making the excuse of we're in quarantine, I think is a cop-out, because if you really wanted to spend time with somebody, whether it's on FaceTime, on Zoom, or texting them, or whatever the case may be, there you can kind of see who's kind of for you. So I think, if nothing else, like be very selective about who you're with, and I think that'll outlast the quarantine. Like, that'll outlast what we're going through right now with this virus and everything. And I would kind of say, for people who feel like they're struggling in relationships, like, really take a step back and really look at kind of what is your problem with your relationship. I think being very open with your partner about what's wrong, and what's good, because I think that a lot of times we get too wrapped up in being very accusatory and blaming our partner or whatever about what's bad. But then when I ask somebody, well, what's good about them, you can tell me from the root to the tuto why he ain't shit, but you can't tell me why he's good. So I think you have nothing but time to talk and spend time together and work in a relationship. So you should be doing that if it's something that's worth keeping. And if it ain't worth keeping, then go on about your business. But I think this is like the perfect time for that. And I can truly say I don't believe we'll ever have a time like this again, unless we go in quarantine again in the fall. But I'm like, I don't think we'll ever be able to experience just being day in, 24 hours, day out with your spouse. And I think this is truly going to show whether you should be with someone or whether you should move on. So if you're having these feelings of wanting to move on, then I think you had them prior to quarantine, but the quarantine is just making them like kind of come to the forefront. So I would say whatever you're feeling, if it can't be worked out, then definitely go ahead and act on it, because we only get to live once. And like my grandmother passed, and I've been going to funerals pretty much every month for like the last 2 years, so I'm exhausted with it. But I think it kind of really expresses how short life really is and how like important relationships are and being happy. And if you feel like you're not happy, then you just shouldn't be in a situation. And I don't want to say kids are an excuse, financial are an excuse, because these are all things that will be okay. And I think it will be better. When you're happy, you can make others happy. When you're miserable, that's the only energy that you bring. So if you are unhappy, do whatever needs to be done to make yourself happy. I have a book called like How to Be Cozy, and like it sounds like so corny, but literally if it's like rearrange your house, make a favorite dish, like drink some tea, read a good book. Like these are things that you can work on. And I think too often we're too busy putting blame on others instead of doing a lot of self-reflecting. And if you did that, you would realize the problem maybe be with you. And if you can rectify that, I think you would be better off. So that's the advice I would give.
Okay.
So again, thank you guys for tuning in to my, I guess, very first official quarantine episode. Thank you, Jeffrey, for being very candid and talking to everybody. So let them know where they can, follow you, because again, he's still working. So book him, because when you book him, you help me.
So, you can follow me, J Perk Productions. I'm on IG at J Perk Productions. Or you can hit me up on IG as well. I shoot music videos. Really simple.
Oh no, go through all 4.
Yeah. And then I got Weddings by J Perk Productions, and then Travel with J Perk Productions. So if you into like love and all that relationship, not relationship, love and like wedding pictures and wedding video, Weddings by J Perk Productions. If you like to travel the world, travel with J Perk Productions. If you like to see the process and me, behind the scenes, really creating, really dominating, really putting the shoots together for my clients, follow J Perk Productions. And if you want to see the final product, photo and video, follow I Shoot Music Videos. But yeah, we do all that. But I'm happy to be on this episode of Tori Talk. This is really cool. If y'all got any questions or any comments or anything like that, definitely put that below, and let's start a dialogue. Like, with some of the trials and tribulations, or even the good things you found with your spouse throughout the relationship, through this quarantine, like your relationship, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever you with, how have you, interacted with them differently? How has it been your experience through these couple months of quarantine? Tell us about that in the comments.
Yeah, and again, thank you for, sitting down. Like I said, we finished our date, and then we decided to shoot this for you guys because it was something I kind of wanted to do, just to kind of give you a peek about, more into me and more into him, because I think people have an idea of us just based on like social media or like kind of when we're out doing stuff, but very day in and day out, like very chill, very playing around a lot, like more laughs. We really don't cry. I mean, I cry, but not because I'm sad. It's mostly like happy things. So definitely, like he said, please let us know, like kind of how you been faring through this whole thing, or if you have any questions or whatever for us, then we can do another kind of iteration of this. And please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Again, if you're watching this on something that is not YouTube, my YouTube channel is Tori Talk with Catori Langley. That's the same thing on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Tori Talk with Catori. Please follow me, leave me comments. I really enjoy kind of engaging with everybody, and I thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope this was helpful. Like, I mean, even if you just kind of tell us what you're doing, like, I know I would be excited to hear it. I know Jeffrey probably would be excited to hear it too. So again, thanks for tuning in, and until next time, I mean, hopefully we'll be out of quarantine by the time we talk about this again, but if not, I can't wait to hear from you again. Bye everybody. Thanks.